Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this week's episode, we run some errands in preparation for leaving Tokyo as we're about to embark on 2 weeks of travel around Shikoku. Stick with us throughout the video because we've got some tips to share with you along the way. Before we get into it, please do us a favor and give the video a like. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Let's go. Good morning.
Good morning. It's scramble day.
Yes, we have a very busy day today, doing a lot of last minute things we have to get done before we leave Tokyo.
I'm gonna be so sad to leave Ikebukuro.
Yeah, it's gonna be sad to leave Tokyo. We've been here for 4 weeks now today, actually, but we are heading out to Shikoku, which is the smallest of the 4 main islands of Japan, and we're gonna be touring that, and then Wakayama Prefecture back on Honshu. But today, we have to get things sorted before we leave.
Because for some reason, the day before our trip, we booked a full day trip.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
No packing tomorrow.
No packing tomorrow. So everything has to be done today. We have to pick up last minute things. We have to pack all our bags. We have to ship 2 of our bags to our final destination here in 2 weeks' time. And we have to meet friends for dinner. We have a very busy day. So let's get started on this busy day. We're headed to our first destination for this morning. It's a grocery store. It's one we've been to before, and so we know exactly how to get there, and Google always takes us a very direct path down south from our place towards the smaller train station on the south side of our Airbnb, and then down the major road to the grocery store. But today we decided to explore a little bit and go off that normal path that we've been taking, because I love walking through residential areas here in Japan. It's always so quiet and peaceful. We're away from all that traffic noise, all the buses and all the cars. I haven't seen a single car in this little residential area that we're in. And you also get a really interesting glimpse into how the locals live. You get to see how the houses look and how they're set up, and their gardens and all that kind of interesting stuff that you would miss just walking down the main road that's all basically lined with restaurants and shops. So I'm happy that we decided to do that today. We probably won't make this walk again on this trip since we're leaving in a couple days. So think about that. Like, look at the map when you're putting something into Google and just see, is there another way that you could go that it's not recommending? Because it will always take you on the most direct path. And sometimes you can veer off and get a glimpse at really interesting things that you would have totally missed if you had just followed Google's standard direct path. You also get to see these types of amazing places. There's a lot of modern buildings around here that are just sort of feel a little bit more cookie cutter, sort of, you know, the double-storied houses in the new style with bricks and standard roofs. But then you get these things. You get these old traditional houses once in a while that are really beautiful and really nice to look at. The dark wood and the tiled roof. It's such an anomaly now walking in these residential areas. I wonder if like this place was here and had all this land around it at one point, and eventually the city just kind of encroached on it, and now it's here surrounded by newer dwellings. As I was just talking about new dwellings and old dwellings, we came around a corner to a little construction site where they're building new dwellings. And it's interesting to see how they're constructing them. They are using wood frames. I thought these places were a little bit more concrete walls, but no, it's wood framing. And we're able to see 3 separate buildings. They look like sort of like townhouses. 3 separate complexes at various stages of being completed. One's just finished framing and getting their exterior sheathing on. One's been sort of stuccoed on the outside. And we also just figured out why this neighborhood is so peaceful. It's because they have rules for this little neighborhood. There's no motorcycles, no dogs to be left off leash. Don't hang out on the trees. So they have very specific rules in the effort to keep this neighborhood quiet and peaceful. Mission number 1 accomplished.
I think mission number 1 was more than accomplished.
Well, it almost was a fail.
I mean, it was so successful?
What we did, we accomplished what we went out there for, but then we kind of got carried away as usual. So we went out there specifically for snacks you had seen,
It's not even snacks. It's one specific snack that I love. And I love rice crackers, but I particularly love this type of rice cracker. They're super soy sauce and they're very, very dark. And you can't find them everywhere. Actually, I've only seen them once.
At this place, right?
Yeah. So I went out and I'm like, hey, all we need to do is just buy me a couple of these snacks and we'll be good. 6 bags later, and
I don't even know if I can get all this in frame. Yeah, I got it in frame, all of that. So basically, this Peacock grocery store, I think it's called Peacock, right?
Peacock.
It also has a Daiso on its second floor, which is that dollar store that we love going to. And I needed some patches for my jeans, some iron-on patches to fix some holes. So we ran up there hoping to get them, and we did get those, but we also got this.
What the heck is this, you ask?
It's a vegetable peeling glove.
Glove.
Yeah. We've mentioned many a times that there's a thing for everything. Every minute thing has a special item. And this one here, you can wear a glove to peel your vegetables or your fish.
Your potatoes and leeks and how can you not have this?
Yeah, so had to get that, of course.
Over the years, we've built up quite a collection of things in our kitchen for very specific uses. And we've always used them. There's only been a couple of fails I can think of. And whenever we have people come over and we make dinner and we pull out a contraption, they're always like, what the heck is that?
And then it's followed up by, where can I get one?
Yes, it's true.
So we ended up buying a few more things to bring home with us than we were planning when we went out there. And we also decided to have lunch at home today because after our next stop, which we're going to do after this one, we're going to come back home and we're going to have to repack 2 bags that we're shipping today and get organized because we're leaving on Sunday, and tomorrow we've got a full day planned that won't allow us to really get ready for Sunday. So we got to do that this afternoon. So we thought, let's have lunch at home.
One more meal in our beloved Airbnb.
But that wasn't the plan.
No, it wasn't.
When we saw the prepared foods at the grocery store, we went crazy. So we have sushi, we have some tempura, we have some katsus, and I'm gonna have curry rice, and yeah, we just kind of went a little bit nutsoids. But that's because I love having curry rice at home with the deep fried croquettes and deep fried pork or shrimp. It's so good. From the grocery store even, just so good reheated in the toaster oven. So we're gonna get one last meal of that. And we also got a few other odds and ends that we wanna take home with us. But so yeah, it was a very successful outing. A little too successful.
Too successful.
So we're gonna go drop all this stuff off at home, and then we're heading to a massive store beside the train station that we need to pick up a few things. So let's get this dropped off and get over there. Our second stop was BIC Camera. We wanted to take advantage of the tax-free savings you can get here, and we had a few largish ticket items we wanted to pick up. You got the most this time around.
I did.
What did you pick up?
I got a hairdryer and I got a face massager.
We may show you that later if we have time. And I picked up a few things for the Switch that we bought a couple weeks ago. I'll link that video up here if you want to see us getting our Nintendo. I haven't had a Nintendo since I was in my pre-teens, so it's been a long time. So I was really excited to get that.
So here's a kind of a tip for you if you come to BIC Camera. If you buy something, we bought the Switch first, and after the Switch, they gave us a coupon. So we got the tax-free, and we got an additional, like, I don't know, 10% off because of the coupon. So if you have multiple purchases, try to split it up and see what happens.
Yeah, one thing I didn't show you when I was setting up my SIM card is that also came with a coupon. So they're pretty free with their coupons.
Yeah.
You can just look and you can find coupons. Even on Google, apparently, if you search for BIC Camera coupons, you'll find them. So yeah, definitely hunt down a coupon one way or another. What else to say? Oh, it's interesting here, when you buy certain things, depending on the price, I guess, you get tickets at the shelves and you bring them into the cash, and then they'll go find the product for you behind the cash.
Yeah, that's why behind her cash it looks more like another mini store or a warehouse, because she's back there like grabbing stuff. That's where the Nintendo and the Switch and the games were.
Yeah, totally. So we're done here at BIC Camera. Check mark number 2 for the day, all our errands we need to do. So we need to get home and pack. and get those bags back to the department store where we're gonna ship them off to our final destination. So we'll show you that process as well, because that's kind of interesting and was a little bit difficult for us to figure out. So let's get back home and pack.
Well, indeed it has been a scramble. We've been scrambling. I'm starving. I did not think that we'd be eating our lunch at what, 2:30?
It's 2:30 now. Yeah, so the grocery store, we went to Seibo department store to figure out where we have to drop our bags off, and we'll show you that when we do drop the bags off. Then we had to go to BIC Camera to pick up our last minute items. You saw us there, and then we rushed back home, and now we're having something to eat. It's lunchtime.
Yes.
Well, it's a late lunchtime. I don't think we could carry on without eating any food. So
we're running on fumes.
yeah, so this is the stuff we picked up at the grocery store earlier. I went with a curry lunch, curry rice with some deep fried bits and pieces. I got a beef croquette, a pumpkin croquette, and 2 shrimp, and I cannot wait to dive into that. And you got a bunch of sashimi and some tempura.
I knew I was going to be hungry.
Yeah, we're sitting on our patio actually. This is the first time we've eaten out here, and the only time we'll eat out here because we're leaving soon, right?
You've seen us work out here during our remote series, but this is the first time we're actually having a proper meal here.
And the sun is unfortunately a little bit harsh, as you can see on my face when I get out of Nicole's shadow, but it's not too hot. It's pretty cool,
Yeah.
which is why we're sitting out here. Also, inside's a bit of a mess. I don't know where we would sit and eat inside. So let's eat up our lunch, our late lunch, and then start packing. We have about an hour to pack. Busting out the iPhone here so I can show you what this food is actually looking like, because it is fantastic. The curry I chose is a cheese curry. That's what these swirls are. That's cheese in there. And then I got a mashed potato and ground beef croquette, and then a pumpkin croquette, which is probably kabocha squash. That's what they call pumpkin here. And my shrimp, and that's some tartar sauce. The shrimp is really good. It's very heavily battered. You can kind of see, just cover Nicole's face.
Yes, please excuse Nicole's face.
Yeah, you can kind of see there the shrimp center and how much breading there is around it. So these aren't the biggest, plumpest shrimp, but they're still tasty. The shrimp flavor comes through. And the tartar sauce is perfect with that. It works really well. Very, very good. And remember, this came from a grocery store. It was just sitting there out, waiting to be purchased. It wasn't freshly made. It's been sitting here at our place now for a few hours. This is crazy how good it is. How's your sashimi?
My sashimi is lovely. I was telling Michael that the tuna is it's so fatty and melty that you don't need your teeth to eat it. You just use your tongue as a utensil and it just melts.
Yeah, it looks really good. I also got some sashimi, not the same cut as yours. I went with the leaner bluefin. That will be coming shortly. Dessert for today's meal. Well, probably not dessert. I'm probably gonna go find something sweet, but my last course, I guess you could say, is the tuna sashimi. It's really nice and thick, chunky pieces of tuna sashimi. It's so good. It's nice and firm, and it falls apart at each sort of membrane. It feels so clean and healthy after that curry and all those deep fried bits. It's nice to have something that feels a little bit better for you. This is a really quality sashimi from a grocery store. All right, we're pretty much done our lunch here. Then it's time to get inside there and clean that up. That's gonna be a bit of a chore. Lunch was really good, but I think we did a bad thing, and that was eat way too much food because we both really want a nap. But our beds are covered in stuff, so there's no way that's gonna happen. Let me show you what the current state of our Airbnb is right now. I'm sitting here surrounded by all of this. And so much of this has to fit in that suitcase somehow. But she over there, who somehow managed to find a spot on the bed, thinks we'll have no problems. So we better get a move on. It is already 3:20. I want to be out of here at 4:15 at the absolute latest with these bags to drop them off. The cutoff is 5 p.m. So if we miss that, we're kind of screwing ourselves for tomorrow. But we shouldn't have a problem. So let's get a move on, get this stuff all cleaned up and packed in that bag, and head over to the department store. It was crazy to think that almost to the hour, 4 weeks ago, we were making this haul, but in the opposite direction, just arriving at the station from the airport, not quite sure where we were going and what to expect. And now it kind of feels like home around here. We kind of know the ins and outs of the area. We know how to get in and out of the train station more effectively, where the shortcuts are, and it's gonna be sad to go, but we have 2 weeks of really exciting travel, new places to visit, and we're really excited about that. So the crowds are starting to mount here, starting to get a bit busier. So I think I'm gonna have to concentrate on navigating this bag. We'll see you at the department store.
We're so close to getting rid of these puppies for 2 weeks.
Sayonara, luggage.
Ciao, luggage.
Arrivederci, luggage.
Au revoir, luggage.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm struggling with luggage or bags and then I'm able to get rid of them, I'm always very happy.
The relief.
Yeah,
the relief.
I feel free afterwards. I can move again. So that's how I feel right now. We've gotten rid of those bags. We've used a service called Luggage Free Travel, and this is a Western. It's relatively new, and it's been basically westernized the Yamato shipping company's service that you can use here in Japan. That's why we've done many trips in the past.
Yeah.
But in the past, you're saying that
when we're in the when you're staying in a hotel, unlike an Airbnb, the concierge will take care of it for you. So they'll come and fill out all the paperwork, and your luggage will magically disappear and show up at your next hotel.
Yeah.
But if you're staying at a Airbnb like we are at this time, then it's up to you to get your luggage to a point where you can drop it off.
Yeah, Yamato's has an English language website now that helps make this a little bit easier, but their drop-off points weren't anywhere near us. We'd have to go back down to the Ginza or Tokyo Station, and that didn't really appeal to us, especially at this time of day, which is getting on to rush hour. So this service had a drop-off point here in the Seibu department store. That's why we've come here.
And it's only like 5 minutes away from home.
Yeah, it's very close to home. It's a very odd office where we're dropping it off. It's like behind Armani on the women's floor on the 4th floor, so it's kind of weird, but it worked perfectly well. They've taken them, they're gone, and hopefully they'll show up at our last hotel here in Japan. So this is a little bit of background on this service. This is a service that Japanese use to ship their bags around because they don't take their bags with them on the trains, and that's because there's no luggage racks on the trains here. They use this service, a shipping company called Yamato, which is the big sort of FedEx of Japan, and they have a special luggage delivery service where they'll pick it up for you at your hotel, and you can tell them when to drop it off, what time, what date, and then you'll show up and there it is. So that's what we've used in the past. Like you said, the concierge has always done it for us, but this time we had to sort it out ourselves. So it's very handy that this service called Luggage Free Travel that sits right on top of Yamato makes it very easy. You can book everything online. That's how we found out that this place had a drop-off point here in the department store. They take the payments online. They give you a code. Everything's super easy. So if you're coming to Japan and
service, you should definitely
consider it. We still have 2 big bags that we're going to be taking with us for the next 2 weeks, but it's good to get rid of these 2. We don't need any of this stuff, and that would have been painful dragging them around. So we're done here. We have a couple more things we have to do here at the station. Book some tickets for tomorrow's day trip. Go make reservations for dinner hopefully tonight. And then I have to go back to BIC Camera. There's one more thing I have to pick up, but I had to go to a different location. There's like 5 different BIC cameras here around the station. The one we went to, I think it's more general, kind of, they have everything. I have to go to the computer location to get the hard drive. So we better go do that, and then we're gonna meet up with friends for dinner. So let's go to the ticket office and book some tickets. Mission 3 and 4, I think we're at now. No, 5. 4 and 5 are complete. We divided and conquered. Nicole went to check the restaurant, no reservations. So that was a waste of a trip, and she had a very difficult time with the elevators. I'll let her explain that to you later, maybe, if she still feels up to it. And then I just waited in this crazy line behind me to get seats on the train for tomorrow's day trip, only to find out that you don't need reservations for this trip. So we both wasted a lot of time with no real outcome. So now I'm on to BIC again. Hopefully I don't have the same problem and I actually get an outcome over there. I was able to find a hard drive. I got a Seagate drive, which ended up being cheaper than buying it at home, but the Western Digitals were way more for some reason. So I got what I needed, and then I popped up to the 5th floor here to check out their gaming floor, and it's incredible the stuff that they have. All the different mice and keyboards and computers, but what's really blowing me away are the chairs. They have all kinds of different gaming chairs that are really comfortable to sit in. I was just playing a racing game in what felt like the cockpit of a race car. It was really cool. Some really neat stuff up here, but I gotta pull myself away from this floor and get back downstairs. I have one more stop to make before I meet up with Nicole. My last stop after BIC Camera was probably a bust. I went to Book Off, which is what you would think is something to do with books, and it is. It's a huge used bookstore. It's a chain across Japan, but they carry all kinds of different things. Most Book Offs will sell games, so I went in there looking for used Switch games, and I found one, but I'm not sure about the price, if it's worth it buying secondhand at that price. So I'm just walking back home to meet Nicole. We have to get ready to go meet our friends. I'm gonna do a quick bit of research and see if it is worthwhile, because I can always pop back over there and grab that game. I want a game that I can play by myself, that's not too mind taxing, just to go brain dead for a little while and save the Mario for Nicole and I to play together. That was the whole idea. So I'm almost back home. This area, I'm gonna miss it. It's crazy busy. It's kind of like a Shibuya, but a little bit more orderly. And I think maybe that's because there's not a lot of me around. There's not a lot of tourists around compared to Shibuya. Here it's a lot of locals, and there's a ton of them. Big stream out of Ikebukuro station, the second busiest station in the world. And where I was, the station just kind of empties into this area full of shops and restaurants. So let's get back home and get Nicole out of bed. She went for a nap, and get her ready to go out. All right, got Nicole, got her out of bed. We're at the meeting spot where we're supposed to meet our friends. These are the same friends we met, well, 3 weeks ago maybe. We went to Shibuya, had dinner, and went to karaoke. You can see that video here, although that didn't feature them very much because they're not YouTubers. So I'm just waiting for them. Nicole went into Muji, which was our meeting spot, and I'm just waiting to see them show up. I laughed a little bit because we sent them here to meet us. So we have a specific restaurant we wanted to take them to, and they're gonna probably, their minds are gonna be blown by how busy this train station is once they finally get here. I'm gonna have a chuckle. I gave them very easy directions though, and I still don't see them. Stay tuned. Despite my easy directions to them, they've not managed to find the meeting spot. I think they just kind of bailed because they just had to keep walking south. They made it to the street, which is the hard part, getting out of the station. There they are. All right, found them. Well, that went well. Dinner is done, and I think they really enjoyed that place. We took them to the place where we discovered Doria for the first time. I'll link that video up here if you want to check out more on Doria. Phil, our friends, Phil and Cheryl, Phil especially loves cheese, and if you watch that video, you'll know what Doria is. Then you'll understand when I say he loved it. He's a cheese lover and he loved Doria. So they both really enjoyed it, so we're really happy to have shared that with them. Then I just kind of abandoned them. Nicole's still with them, but I ran back to Book Off because that game I wanted to pick up. I researched it, and it looks pretty fun. It's a Marvel game. I forget what it's called, Alliance something or other, but it just sounds like exactly what I was looking for, a kind of mindless action game. So looking forward to giving that a try. And I'm going to meet them at McDonald's. We all want apple pies. Did you have fun tonight?
I did. I was really tired in the afternoon. The chores were really wearing me down.
Yep, so we had our McDonald's. We have 2 weeks left in Japan. How many McDonald's are you gonna have?
As many as I can.
Yeah. So our friends Cheryl and Phil had a good time. They're heading home tomorrow night. They're going back to Toronto, but they've been here for what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
4 weeks, and they've had a good time. And we've had a good time here in Tokyo. One more day, not in Tokyo, and then we're out of here, heading to Shikoku. So I need to get some sleep. We have probably a longish day tomorrow of day trip and then packing.
Oh no!
Yeah, we have a nice busy day trip and then we have to come home and pack.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be a tough one. All right, so we will see you guys tomorrow. We'll take you along on our day trip to Kamakura. Have a good night. Thanks so much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed running around Ikebukuro with us and hopefully learning a few tips for your travels along the way. If you did, please like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. We'll see you next week.